Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're here with Emil and a few other people who would like to stand up for democracy. We're going to be going over the Epstein case and try to figure out, is it worth pursuing and the bads and goods of it. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we start that, I would like to at least look at Trump with the dismantling of the education department. It's a real quick short, and I just feel like it is necessary that we still keep that in our forefront, that he is trying to support the Department of Education.
And the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration can dismantle the Department of Education. Right after the ruling, employees were notified that they would be let go on August 1st. On social media, President Trump said this is a victory for parents and students. He said states will now take over the department's duties.
Consumers are on the move, and it's your job to keep up.
All right, what y'all think about that little tad bit about him getting rid of the Department of Education?
I think it's a two-edged sword. All right. The reason I'm saying this is because I find that the school system is a pipeline. So if he's getting rid of that to replace it with something that serves children better, fine. But if he's getting rid of it and not putting something better in place, then I see a problem.
So he doesn't have a plan. He plans on having the states take over. And if you think about Alabama and Mississippi and those like Arizona that tend to be on the bottom half or the bottom 10, I mean, it's like less resources for the schools.
Yes, the Department of Education has just been there to give more money to the states in order to educate their children. And if you have less money going into the education, you have less money going into the education of your children. And state by state, they don't invest equally. So the poor states are not going to invest in education.
Okay.
Poor states are going to suffer.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the only little piece that we're going to talk about the education department. I just felt that was necessary for everyone to know what's going on because that's new information. That video was dropped today, and he's basically saying August 1st is when they're actually going to be dismantling and get rid of those employees. Let's go ahead and continue on. This next video is something that took place in '92 where Trump makes a lewd comment about young girls. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Okay, you start and I'm ready.
In the wake of questions and allegations about Donald Trump's behavior towards women, ET discovered this footage in our archive, which we provided to CBS News.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it? Okay.
Hold on.
All right. What's going on with that? How y'all feel about him saying that he's going to be dating a young girl who looks like she's clearly 12 or 13 going up an escalator?
Who leers at little girls? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, apparently he does. He was over there. Someone called that grooming. But I guess when it's a rich guy, it's not called grooming. It's just called jokes. I guess that's the new standard. You got to have a lot of money, and then it's a joke. Hey, what did that guy say about Elon Musk? He said, if you have enough money, a Hail Hitler sign is this a how you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
A bald head is just a part. You got enough money.
Yeah, apparently money makes you what you say be perceived differently, because a man who has a lot of money who says what he just says is trying to groom somebody and has the money to do it, and it has a position to do it.
Money changes the dynamic.
Very much. So this next video is Trump pushing back on Epstein question during his cabinet meeting. This took place sometime like last week, I believe.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the step?
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time.
They hit a nerve. They asked about something that he really doesn't want to talk about. He's scared to even think about. He knows it's something that his name is all over.
You say that he hit a nerve, huh? After that, he was like, "Hey, man, we gotta stop this before it continue."
Right. You know, this it I don't care what I say, but I just gotta try to stop what y'all hearing.
Okay.
Like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said that I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK file.
If I say something louder and clearer, it's more truthful. So just because I'm repeating myself and enunciating, it makes more sense and it's truthful. Believe me.
Believe me, I didn't sleep with her. I you know what I mean? Men would use that if that really worked.
Yeah, she really doesn't
She
she doesn't emanate a lot of truthfulness.
Yeah. You remember when Trump University was going on, I believe she was the prosecutor that let it go.
Absolutely. She was
know?
the prosecutor in Florida that was paid $25,000 by Donald Trump and then stopped prosecuting the Trump University for all of its illegal activity. It just dropped by the wayside. And next thing you know, she is the Attorney General of the United States for Donald Trump. That doesn't smell right.
Understood?
Stinks.
As well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
If you have a 700 plus credit score,
I don't think she was ever caught as a teenager doing something wrong. Because when you start lying as a teenager, you realize you can't lie anymore. You have to stop the lies. And she doesn't lie well, and she just jumped straight into a lie, into another lie, into another lie. She is denying that this guy Epstein was ever in jail and died almost. And 2.5 minutes are on a piece of video that's not manipulated, it's raw footage. I believe you.
All right. So what I'm saying is every time it seems like the admin talk, it seems like they lie and they play in our face. And I'm not saying that Biden administration didn't lie to us or hide things or whatever, but I find it kind of funny how whenever they said something, everyone was second guessing and tried to fire them and call them all kind of names. But yet and still, this man, he could lie to us in our face, and we know it's a lie, and we're supposed to just eat it like it's a nice pie. So this is very interesting, for the most part. Any other words about this before we jump into one of Epstein's victims? No. All right. So I feel like it's very important to understand why this is important, because we all have kids on this line. And because we have kids, we have to think about if that was our little girl or our little boy that was molested, raped, or anything of that nature. And we have to keep that in our minds that we're fighting not for the people that it did occur to, but the future people, because what happens is when a court case is handled, it then sets a precedent on what's going to be taking place years after. So your kids might only be 2 to 5, but they might come into a position of someone with that much power. And if somebody can go to a whole island and have their sexcapades with 12-year-olds, this is something that's very evil in nature. Let's just call it what it is. It's evil. And let's go ahead and check out Kiki Doe, and she explains her experience on Epstein Island. Well, I'm gonna say this. She's 19, and if she was a virgin or not, we don't know, but we're not here to discuss that. It doesn't matter if she was. So it's not a child that he did it to. And they should be laws to protect someone after a certain amount of years if they did do some kind of trespassing of nature, just because you don't want people to blackmail other people for years among years. Because if he took the cookie wrongfully, he should not be prosecuted 20 years later. And the only reason I say that is because after a while, the perpetrator could become the victim in a blackmail type of setting. At the same time, when we talk about someone being 19, their 19-year-old is too easy for them to want someone who's 17 or 16, and then that goes into the line where it don't matter how long it's been. If you are, let's say if the person was 19 or 20 years of age and they are around each other, they went to high school with each other, that type deal, and it's a 14-year-old and 20-year-old, that's a different scenario. Then I feel that at a certain point in time, there needs to be a point of time where the blackmail cannot happen. And I just say that because, you can imagine someone doing something wrong. And if there's never a time limit, 30 years from now, someone could be coming to you about something you did at 16 and you don't remember everything, but who knows? So that's the only thing I have to say about her age. But if she was 17 years of age, it should matter how long it's been. And I don't know how y'all feel about that. That's just how I feel about the statute of limitation of time.
There might be a statute of limitation on that, but the fact that it's such a large age differential, the fact that you're not dealing with a 19-year-old and a 25-year-old, you're dealing with somebody who's twice her age, and he is totally manipulating this person and taking total advantage of them, putting them into a situation where they can't say no. They have to say yes in order for them to make it through their day. and he just has taken advantage, has done everything to take this girl's mind, put her in a situation where she's unfamiliar, took her away from her friends, made her look like she's nothing. Basically, he treats her just like a hoe. You know, he's pimp. He pimped her. He's a pimp. And he says, okay, now I'm going to take you and I'm going to make sure that you are worthy for the street. And he's going to have her get her first experience. And he's going to make sure she does it right. And she doesn't know what she's doing until after she does it. And that is terrible. And you're right. She should have been old enough to understand if she was 19. But there's a special place for people who are that much older than other people, that they really, really respect them more than what they should. Even though she was 19, she over-respected this guy. And he took a total advantage of it. There's no place he should be found not guilty of anything.
Okay. Let's go ahead and finish off the video. All right.
She's really reliving the events of that time. And it really is something you never get over. It's affected her whole life. And she might be getting better, but she hasn't gotten over it. She just can't ever get over it.
Yeah. You can definitely tell that she was reliving it. It's kind of like she reopened the scar by looking at the place. I have to say, like, when it comes down to it, you know, I can't defend wrong. I don't feel like defending wrong. So, but I am going to play devil's advocate, just because we have to look at the other side and opposition, as far as instead of just looking at it one-sidedly. She had the opportunity to be in a presence of somebody that had a lot of money, and with the ideal of becoming a star, and she could have taken that and went past what she thought was morally good for her and put herself in that position because of the ideal of being a part of the rich group or the models that made it. And this is something that a lot of people do in real life, where they go to California and they get taken advantage of and they wonder why it happened. My whole thing is, if you deal with people who want to become rich so bad, they might sell out their mother. And that is something that happens regularly. And you see people, like, let's say that we were from Haiti and somebody gave us a bunch of money to oppress Haiti. That's stuff that does happen in real life, where I believe it was at one point they had somebody in there that was making a difference in the American population, as far as the government gave them funds of money in order to kill or assassinate their leader. And I say that saying that we cannot live for only money, because if we only live for money, we will do things that we regret, because normally the people who have all the money used to have slaves. Those people who own those slaves and then turned their money into railroad money, and then had that backing of, you know, the houses that look like the White House. I believe there was a kind of the White Castle that was burnt down in Louisiana that a lot of people had mixed feelings about. It was an incident that happened where the house, a slave house that went up in flames, and the black population, so even some of the black population was mad about it, because they was thinking about the money that the people lost as opposed to the what it represents. And that's when I'm saying, when it comes down to it, just because we have people that share our reflection does not mean they share our mind state as far as our true brotherhood. They rather share the mind state of the people that oppressed them back then and say, it happened so long ago, you shouldn't care about it. It doesn't matter. Why even talking about that? Not even thinking about the fact that in 1960s, that we still had the color stuff going on. Where when was the water fountain non-colorized? Was no more segregation.
The segregate. You're talking about Jim Crow era. Where
yes, I'm saying when we be able to drink from the same water fountain? What year was that?
I'm not quite sure what year exactly, but it was in the early 60s where it didn't seem like it made that much of a difference in Washington, D.C. It really depended on where you were, I think, how far you were down south, because there's some places now where there's sundown towns where you can't even go into town as a black person after 5 o'clock in the evening and feel safe. So, there are some, the things have changed. They say you can drink at the fountain. They say you get the right treatment from the same doctors and the same professionals, but it really depends on the professional and depends on the society of the town.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is become an experiment and you don't know your experiment, which that did happen and take place, where they might give you syphilis and see how you react. You think you're just getting a flu shot and they're infecting you. Right. Let's go ahead and we're going to look at Kash Patel on his belief in 2013. Kash Patel, his belief on 2013, dealing with Epstein's list.
So are you, like, in closing here, I want to just be very clear. Republicans could get Epstein's list out now? Like, how would that process work?
Simple. One subpoena to the FBI. Give me the list. Oh, you don't want to give me the list and you're going to break the law and commit contempt of Congress? We're going to take your money. We're going to take Chris Wray's private jet. Taxpayer-funded G5 rides across the country to his Appalachian State vacation home, down to Georgia, and all over the rest of the place. That guy doesn't need a G5 government-funded jet. And the second you take that money, you get Epstein's list.
Here's the problem, Kash, is that they shut down the Lolita Express. So how are these guys going to fly on a private jet anymore? It's really a quandary, my friend.
Oh, man.
2, please. Make that 3.
All right. So let's remember that. Let's remember that's what he said.
Yes.
In 2013, he was basically stating that it's so easy for the FBI director to just see it, and who became the FBI director and now is like mum's the word. What file?
His name isn't Epstein. His name is Kash Patel, who became FBI director and is stuttering about what you're going to do with Epstein files.
Yeah. So this next video we're going to be looking at and track. It's going to be a tracking of every visitor that went to Epstein's island. And the reason why this is important is because if they went to the island, they could have had unconsensual relations with underage people. And I say it like that because underage person cannot consent. At the same time, just because you're on the island does not mean that you did anything. All that means is that you had the opportunity and you basically took advantage of what was going on. So, all right.